So we were talking about this on stream yesterday. Does anybody else think that I need to bring these videos back? I need the sunglasses and the shirt. But those are so much fun to make, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people enjoyed them. Anyway, welcome back everybody. My name is Tucker, and we have a surprise trade machine for today's video. Yesterday, as I was just kind of hanging out, doing my thing, we got a report that Victor Oladipo wants to leave Indiana this offseason. He's a 2021 free agent, someone that is recovering from a significant injury and didn't look all that great in the bubble. And it's extremely surprising that pretty much out of nowhere, he's decided that he no longer wants to be a Pacer. I don't know really what could have motivated this. Obviously, they got rid of Nate McMillan as coach. Maybe he's just unhappy. I don't know. I have no idea what the issue could be, but we're going to do a trade machine for him, right? And you guys, once again, crushed it with the trade machine this week. There are 4 trades in this video, and the only reason there's that few is because there's like 3, 4, and 5 team trades. I don't know what is going on with you guys this week, but there's so many multiple team trades, and a lot of them are really good. That's what we're going to take a look at and in today's video. But really quickly before we get started, if you enjoy content like this, then consider subscribing. I upload basically every single day, and leaving a like rating helps me out a ton. It helps the video out a ton, and it lets me know that you're enjoying the content. And also, today is a huge day. As a lot of you guys know, I've been building the Twitch channel, been promoting that a lot. It's been a lot of fun to have people come over there and hang out. And today is day 1 of season 6 of Warzone. So if you haven't already, come over, hang out over on Twitch. We can talk about Doc Rivers, we can talk about Oladipo, we can talk about the NBA Finals, whatever you guys want to talk about. And of course, it is day 1 of season 6 of Warzone. And by the time you're watching this video, it's pretty likely that I'm live. So come hang out. But with that said, let's go and get started with the trade machine. Okay, I had to start the video with this one. This trade got its own tweet yesterday, and I really considered making it its own video. It is a 5-team deal that I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to fit it on screen here, to be honest. We're going to take a look. So the 76ers receive James Harden, Victor Oladipo, TJ Leaf, 2 first-round picks, and a second. The Rockets receive Joel Embiid and Jeremy Lamb. The Celtics receive Chris Paul and Myles Turner. The Thunder receive Ben Simmons, and the Pacers receive Gordon Hayward and Kemba Walker. Okay, let's go through this team by team. So, for the Sixers, this is kind of under the assumption that some kind of Mike D'Antoni thing happens, right? And they want to completely change their roster. And so they're getting James Harden and Oladipo and 2 first-round picks, essentially in exchange for Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Pretty crazy value there. Then you go to the Rockets. They're giving up James Harden, but they're getting Embiid and Jeremy Lamb in exchange to completely change their roster as well into something completely different post Mike D'Antoni. The Celtics are getting Chris Paul and Myles Turner, 2 players that would be incredibly helpful for them, and they're giving up Gordon Hayward and Kemba Walker, 2 players that I just talked about in the Celtics video that did really well yesterday, by the way. Thank you for that. That don't necessarily perform great in the postseason, or a player in Chris Paul that's a really good postseason player, and a guy in Myles Turner that fits their roster perfectly. For the Thunder, they're getting Ben Simmons in exchange for Chris Paul and a couple of first-round picks, which is really, really good value. And then the Pacers are getting rid of Oladipo, which is the whole point of the trade machine, and Myles Turner, and they're getting Gordon Hayward and Kemba Walker. So let's go through this team by team. For one, for the 76ers, I understand what's happening here. I'm not convinced that this is enough value for the Ben Simmons Joel Embiid combo. I mean, these guys are a better fit together, Oladipo and Harden, and then you get the 2 picks as well. I don't even know why I'm talking about this like this is a realistic trade, because it's not. It's a 5-team mega deal, but let's just talk about it like it's kind of realistic. I don't know. I question that part of it a little bit. As we go to the Rockets, if they were going to trade James Harden, getting someone like Joel Embiid in exchange and Jeremy Lamb, a guy that can shoot, not a bad option at all. For the Celtics, I love this deal. If I could choose for one team to actually have this happen to, it would be the Boston Celtics. I love the Chris Paul fit. I love the Myles Turner fit. You're talking about Chris Paul, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Myles Turner as your 5. I think almost every Celtics fan would sign up for that right now if you're giving up Kemba Walker and Gordon Hayward. For the Thunder, adding Ben Simmons to that young group with those draft picks that they have moving forward, and giving up Chris Paul, I love that. That's super fun. And then for the Pacers, I think it kind of falls apart a little bit. I don't know what they really want out of Kemba Walker here. I mean, they're giving up 2 of the better players in the entire trade and getting back 2 guys, in my opinion, that aren't all that exciting. They're both 30 years old. And for Hayward, it's an expiring contract. But for Kemba, it's going to be an expensive contract over the next couple seasons. So it falls apart a little bit for me there. But huge shout out to Eduardo. The fact that these salaries match, the fact that all this comes together is nuts, and it's super fun. and I thank you for sending it over to me, man. Okay, next up, we've got a 3-team deal, and in this, the Bucks would receive Victor Oladipo and Aaron Gordon and a second-round pick. The Magic would receive Eric Bledsoe, Edmund Sumner, Goga Bitadze, and a first-round pick in 2024 and a second-round pick in 2022. The Pacers would receive George Hill, DJ Wilson, Mo Bamba, Dante DiVincenzo, and 2 first-round picks. So for the Bucks, it's pretty obvious, right? Like, this is a Giannis trade. They're trying to solidify this roster, make it better, bring in another quote-unquote star in Victor Oladipo. I really don't think the fit would be weird at all when you're talking about Chris Middleton already being there, because Giannis handles so much of the playmaking anyway. You can run a Giannis, Middleton, Oladipo, Gordon, Lopez lineup, and that would be an incredible lineup in terms of length and in terms of versatility. And as long as you had enough playmaking, which I think you would, that would be a really, really interesting lineup. And I'm always intrigued by what Aaron Gordon would look like in a different scenario. The problem with that is both Oladipo and Giannis would be free agents in the summer 2021, which leaves basically your entire franchise up in the air. But you're getting rid of Eric Bledsoe, you're getting Oladipo and Gordon. I like that move. Sucks you have to give up Dante DiVincenzo, but I understand. The Magic are getting Eric Bledsoe, Sumner, Bitadze, and a first, essentially in exchange for Mo Bamba and Aaron Gordon. If you don't really think much of Mo Bamba at this point, that's not a bad deal at all. It depends really on your opinion of Mo Bamba in terms of, what you think of this trade overall. I don't know how excited they are about getting Bledsoe, but you get the first round pick at least, even though it is lottery protected in 2024. I'm not convinced there's a ton of value here for Orlando, but if they just want to shake things up, maybe this is a deal they take a look at. And then the Pacers are getting basically some salary stuff plus Bamba, DiVincenzo, and 2 first round picks, one way in the future and lottery protected in exchange for Oladipo. Honestly, depending on how you value Oladipo, this might be too, I don't know. Part of me thinks that maybe you throw one of these firsts at the Magic and maybe get them a little bit more invested in making this trade happen. But overall, I like the idea. I love the lineup that the Bucks would have after this trade. I think the Magic is just like a roster shakeup type move. Getting a guard that can actually, do some things for them is certainly helpful. And then for Indiana, this comes as a complete surprise, the Oladipo thing. At least you're getting some draft compensation, and Bamba and DiVincenzo could certainly be good players. So an interesting trade here. But this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about, man. Like, I don't know. I think last week was the first time that we'd ever had a 4-team deal. And this week we have 2 different 4-teamers and a 3-teamer. So they are going nuts, man. So the Pacers are receiving Andrew Wiggins and the 2nd pick in the draft. The Sixers are receiving Rubio, Oladipo, and Mikal Bridges. The Warriors are getting Kelly Oubre, Myles Turner, and the 10th pick. And the Suns are getting Josh Richardson and Ben Simmons. My head kind of hurts just looking at this. Okay, so the Pacers are giving up Oladipo and Turner, and they're getting Wiggins, but they're also getting the 2nd overall pick. So Wiggins, you could kind of talk yourself into him being something. The contract isn't great, but getting the 2nd overall pick in a situation in Indiana where Victor Oladipo and especially Myles Turner are going to leave, you're going to need some kind of perimeter help and some kind of young guys on the roster. And if LaMelo falls to 2 and you've got LaMelo and Sabonis and you've got, Wiggins can do something. I don't know. I think it's not an awful look for them. For the Sixers, who seem to be involved in every single trade video now at this point, they're getting Rubio, Oladipo, and Bridges in exchange for Simmons and Richardson, which is a lot. But ideally, these players all fit better around Joel Embiid than Ben Simmons does. Sucks you have to give up Josh Richardson because he is such a cost-controlled asset, but you could talk yourself into this group of players being a better fit. Whether it's good value, I don't know, but the fit is at least kind of there. For the Warriors, this is probably the most interesting team out of this whole thing. So they're giving up Wiggins in the 2nd pick, and they're getting back Oubre, Turner, and the 10th pick in the draft. And I really think that they have like half too much of an asset at this point. Like they need to take away half of this asset and throw it somewhere else. I know that sounds stupid, but I feel like there's just a little bit too much value going to them and not enough going to a few other teams in this trade. Because like the 2nd pick in the draft is obviously valuable. Wiggins, I'm not convinced is all that valuable. Like this is basically the D'Angelo Russell trade package, and you're getting Oubre, Turner, and the 10th pick in the draft. Like that feels like a lot. I love the fit. The idea of the Warriors with Steph, Clay, Oubre, Draymond, Turner, and the 10th pick in the draft. I think some teams might just turn that down just because they don't want the Warriors to be good again. Like that is an insane lineup. I think there's a little bit too much value going to Golden State here. For the Suns, the idea here obviously is you want to kind of level up the team, right? You've got Devin Booker, you went on this nice run, let's level up the team. But they're giving up 3 rotation players, 2 of which are starters, and the 10th pick in the draft. to get Richardson and Simmons. And you don't know what the fit is like with Simmons. You don't want to, risk bugging Devin Booker. I question this move for Phoenix. I like Josh Richardson as a two-way player. I love Simmons as a player. But you're giving up 3 guys you just had a really nice run with in the bubble, minus Kelly Oubre, who didn't play because of injury, and the 10th pick feels like a lot. But just as like a thought experiment, this is super, super interesting. And then last up, we all get to just take a deep breath because Ethan sent us a nice little 2-team trade, nice quaint little 2-team trade in which the Pacers received Tim Hardaway Jr., a first-round pick and a second in exchange for Victor Oladipo. The thought process here is the Pacers essentially are getting a first-round pick for Oladipo from the Dallas Mavericks, and the Mavericks are getting someone in Oladipo that I projected them to potentially target in the summer of 2021 as a free agent. They're getting him a year early, and maybe that's why the value isn't really there for Oladipo. He's coming off the injury. He's going into a summer in which he is going to be a free agent. And Tim Hardaway Jr. can do some things. He's a solid player. I think Indiana is going to need more value than this. There's going to be better offers than this on the table, at least in my opinion, for Victor Oladipo. But in terms of the Mavericks getting Oladipo, I think that makes perfect sense. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the Pacers just move him for something similar to this, but I think they need more value here than just Hardaway and Oladipo being on like 1-year deals. If Oladipo was on this big contract they wanted to get out from underneath, that would be a little bit different. But just the 1-year deal for Hardaway and then a first-round pick, they're going to need more, which is going to be tough for the Mavs because they don't really have a ton of assets moving forward because they have some picks dedicated to Kristaps Porzingis, or to the New York Knicks for the Kristaps Porzingis trade. And yeah, there you have it. That's going to be the end of today's video. I don't even know what to say anymore at this point about the absolutely insane trades that you guys sent me this week. And it was super, super fun. Like these, I know there's going to be that guy. There's going to be that guy in the comments that says, none of these trades are realistic. Why did he even put them in the video? It's for fun, man. Like we're watching a YouTube video and we're having fun talking about NBA trades and stuff like that. And this was super, super fun. So thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate all the input, all the support, all that good stuff. And thank you guys very much for watching. Once again, my name is Tucker. If you missed any of my previous videos, then be sure to check out the boxes on screen. Thanks again, and I'll see you all next time.